Hi, hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Steph and I run Woollen Wytch, which is a small independent yarn and fibre dyeing business in Bristol in the UK. And with these videos I just like to update on what's going on in Woollen Wytch and in my life and what I'm knitting, what I'm enjoying. And it's been a little while since I've done these sort of normal chatting podcasty videos. My last one I announced that I'd got a new job. I've since started my new job. I'm really enjoying it, but it's a massive learning curve, so it's completely different to what I've done before. In my previous job I was working as a general assistant for a supermarket, dealing with their online orders and things, packing and loading vans and just general like logisticy sort of stuff. And with my new job I'm an office assistant for a catering company in Bedminster in Bristol, and yeah, it's really humbling going from a job you know everything about and being the person that everyone comes to and asks for advice, and then going into a job where you know absolutely nothing. I'm not gonna lie, I have come home in tears once or twice, just because I find it really hard for myself when I don't know how to do something, but I'm still really enjoying the job. It's kind of nice having normal hours rather than starting at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's nice knowing I have weekends to myself to be with Aunt. Slightly more slower paced job, even though it's starting to build up and be really busy for them now. They've gone into their, so when I first started they were in their quiet period, which is sort of August time, when a lot of their corporate clients go on holiday essentially, and now it's ramping back up and becoming busy just as I'm starting to tread water and understand what I'm doing. So yeah, the last 2 days have been a little bit hectic, a little bit chaotic. I have made some mistakes which I'm a little bit annoyed about myself, but I mean, it's to be expected. I've never done anything like this before. That was a major thing that I announced in my last video, and so I just wanted to let you guys know that I've started. It's all happening. I'm still, yeah, trying to work out where I'm going with it and what's happening, and it's definitely taking a bit out of me. So Woollen Wytch orders are still getting juggled amongst trying to get used to the new job. So yeah, it's kind of hard because I used to come home when I finished work at 9 o'clock in the morning and come home and work on Woollen Wytch, but now that I finish at 3, it's like most of the day is already gone and I've got to try and fit it in a little bit better. I think I just need to learn a bit more time management, if I'm honest, and basically get into the habit of using a few of my evenings a week to actually come upstairs and sit in the office and do admin-y bits, whether that's social media or coming up with new products and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's going to take some getting used to. I'm enjoying it, and I'm pretty sure I've just gone round in a circle with that, but I don't know, I'm just trying to talk myself through it. I think it's such a leap from what I was doing before, and I kind of have to be kind to myself and not expect myself to know everything. But in amongst doing the new job I also had the Southern Wool show last weekend that had just gone, which was great. I'm glad I started dyeing stuff early before starting the new job, because I would not have got everything done. I pretty much sold half of my stock of yarn, just under half I think I sold. So my plastic tubs where I store all of my yarn are looking a little bit empty, which is really nice. I had such a good weekend. It was really nice chatting to everyone. Some of you are asking me about my new job and chatting to me about D&D and things, and it was so cool, and I really appreciate the fact that some of you guys watch my videos and take an interest, and it's so nice. I just don't know how to express just how appreciative I am of you guys and the community in general. I've not come away from a show and felt bad about myself or that I'm doing the wrong thing, and so sometimes when sometimes you're like, I'm sat in the office by myself, and sometimes it's really tiring being by myself in the office and only really having an online point, because it's quite isolating in a way, and you don't know whether what you're doing is being liked and whether you're wasting your time, and that gets especially hard when you're also working a job essentially. So I've always been working about 30 hours to about 40 to 45 hours a week and doing this on the side, and it gets very tiring, and you're kind of just putting stuff out into the ether of the internet, and when you don't hear anything back, I don't know, it's just really hard to know if you're going the right way or not. And so when doing shows, when you guys come up and chat to me and say that you watch my videos, or show me the items that you've been knitting using my yarn, and comments that you hear at shows, just they make the highlight of the weekend, and they help me see that what I'm doing is worthwhile. And yeah, it's really nice. I've had a bit of a hard day. I've felt like I've been more of a hindrance than a help, as I've been learning at the moment, especially the last few days, and made a bit of a mistake at work today, so just gonna move past it. But this chai is definitely going down the right way. Actually, talking of the Southern Wool show, I actually got this mug this weekend. It's huge, like it fits about like 2.5 like normal standard mug sizes. So the mug that I got is a Nebula monster mug from Emily Cross Ceramics, who's actually based in Bath, which is great because I didn't realise she was so close to me. So it was really nice chatting to, I think her partner was running the stand when I went over and bought myself a mug. But yeah, it was really nice going to Newbury to meet someone from like half an hour away essentially. Whilst I was at Southern Wool show as well, I went on a little spending spree, and by little I mean I spent over £200, which is a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but I don't think I've shared it with you guys actually. I sold my Bliss spinning wheel the other month, and I bought myself a Kiwi 2. I found with the Bliss spinning wheel I couldn't leave it out downstairs in the living room because the cats would be over it, and it had quite a wide stance, so it took up a fair amount of size in our living room, and we've only got a small sort of flat really. And so I bought myself a Kiwi 2 because it folds up, and actually I've left it downstairs, and the cats have pretty much just ignored it completely, which is really nice because it means that I'm using the spinning wheel more often because it's right in front of my face whilst I'm watching TV. So I put some of the money I earned at Southern Wool Show into buying myself a jumbo flyer for my kiwi, which was always the plan eventually. So the jumbo flyer means that I can then spin not just normal sized yarn, but also now art yarn, just fat squishy yarn, which is great. I've got it next to me so I can show you. So the kiwi 2 standard bobbin sizes, this size, sort of standard bobbin size. The Bliss was similar to this one, and then the jumbo is huge in comparison. So this is the full maiden. This just slots straight on top of the kiwi 2, which is great. It's nice and simple to put together, but yeah, normal bobbin size in comparison to the jumbo size. Just yeah, so at some point I will be showing off some fat squishy yarn. I'm so excited for it, because that's how I started spinning, and it's what I enjoy making. So yeah, I bought that. I got it from the guys at the threshing barn, and they were really lovely, and me and Aunt done, so we usually do a morning walk round the show so that we can see stuff before the general customers come in, and we sort of walked past the threshing barn and had a look at a few items, because Aunt really likes looking at almost like the machinery side of things. So he really likes looking at how the spinning wheels work and how weaving looms work, and so he's always drawn to the threshing barn, which meant I could stand around and look at all the accessories for the spinning wheels and the fibre and things. And just on the off chance, I asked if they had the jumbo flyer there to buy, and they did. And then I couldn't help myself and I had to buy it, because usually it's just online. So there's no temptation. There was this weekend, so yeah, I'm really excited to spin those up. So that's pretty much it for Southern Wool Show, I think. I would definitely be doing that one. Well, I'd definitely be applying to do that one next year. I really enjoyed Southern Wool Show. It's not too far away from Bristol, so if something happens and we can't get a cat sitter, we can always come back home to sleep on our own beds and then go back to the show. It also means that if I forget anything, it's just a quick trip down the motorway and then back again. Not the main draw to the show, obviously, but it's always a big on the plus side. But no, Nick and that lot run a really great show. Aunt and I always have a great weekend. It's just one of those shows you get like a nice vibe from. Yeah, next year I'm only going to be applying for a few shows, and then I think I'll only be doing 2. I find the last 2 years I've been applying for all of these shows and doing them, and I end up using up all of my work holiday to do these shows, and then I don't actually have any holiday for myself. Never seem to have any holiday for myself. Neither Aunt or I have even just had a nice weekend away as well, let alone a full week-long holiday. It's just not happened. Aunt's best friend now lives in the south of France as well, so we need to go over and see her, so I can't use up all of my holiday for shows, unfortunately. If there's any shows that you definitely want me at, let me know in the comments, because if I don't know I'm wanting somewhere, then I won't apply for it. Whilst I was at the show, actually, I've been knitting this for not that long. It's been growing fairly quickly, but a few of you at the show saw me knitting this, and asked a few questions about it. My current project that I'm trying to concentrate on, the Field Day Jacket by Hayley Smedley. It's just this really nice, big, oversized cardigan, like throw it on around the house. And I've been looking for a pattern for it for a while, and this one popped up on Ravelry and it just looked super cozy. I cast it on, I've been knitting it for, I tell a lie, I started it before the heat wave. So a few months ago I cast it on, and then it got too hot to knit. just too hot to knit. So I put it down. I've picked it back up recently as the weather's turned. I've got a fair chunk of it done, to be honest. So you might guess from the wardrobe change, my camera ran out of battery and then ran out of space on the memory card, so I had to start again a couple days later. I was talking about the Field Day Jacket I'm currently knitting. I have gone through a fair bit of it. It's now looking more like a jacket instead of several pieces of knitting. It's a sort of easy pattern, and by that I mean it could be a lot more user-friendly the way that it's written. I am glad that there are video links included on the document, like the pattern document, because otherwise I would be completely lost. Essentially on one of the parts it starts talking about a button band that you would have knitted, but at no point up until then has it mentioned button band, so I didn't know what it was referring to. When I watched the video it made it make some sense. So yeah, it could be written a little bit more user-friendly, but once you get past that point it's actually quite nice and easy. So I have been knitting it in my own yarn for a change. It's not often that I use my own yarn. I'm trying to make the conscious effort to actually use it a little bit more. I find that a lot of people ask me how certain yarns knit up, and then I don't actually have any examples of it. Because I've been too busy knitting with other people's yarns, trying to make the conscious effort to use my own yarn for a change. If I can find a good way of picking it up. This is the Field Day Jacket so far. So at the moment it's coming just under the bra line really. So it's about waist height at the moment. Obviously I'm going to be knitting it nice and long. I want it to hit just below my hips, so I've got a fair while to go, and obviously there's no sleeves at the moment, but so far it's looking pretty nice. So it's got a lot more of a purpley orange tone. My camera's making it look red at the moment, but it's knitted using double knit and Surrey Cloud held together in the colourway Botanical Apothecary, and it is so buttery soft. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's so nice to work with and to have sitting on my lap now that I can, because the warmer weather is starting to go, and I am going to be basically living in this around the house once it's finished. I'm really looking forward to it, and I know I had a lot of comments with people really liking it at Southern Wool Show as well, so I think it's going to be a great addition to I guess my sample collection for my yarn. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. That's pretty much all I've been working on lately, is just that big project. I'd like to get it done before Stitch Fest in November, but we'll see whether I manage to get it done or not. Before I started knitting the Field Day Jacket, I actually managed to finish some other big projects, but I don't actually think I've shared with you guys at all. So sorry if I have and I'm repeating myself. Yeah, I guess a little update. So back at the start of the year, Ant and I visited Unravel, and I saw my lovely friend Hannah from Creative Anarchy Yarn, and I bought a kit from her to knit the Ghost Horses pattern by Caitlin Hunter, and it's the first like full-on colourwork project I've done, the first colourwork sweater, and I'm so pleased with the results. It took me a while to get the tension right. I'm glad I like persevered through it, because it's such a nice jumper and I've had so many nice comments from people, and yeah, I did actually really enjoy knitting it. After a while I gave up trying to teach myself continental and just went back to picking up and putting down the different coloured strands. I think that just works better for me. I just can't seem to hold the yarn properly in my left hand, which is weird because when I crochet that's where I hold my yarn and it's fine, but somehow with knitting it just doesn't want to keep the tension properly. I really enjoyed it. So this is the finished one. I can't quite get it all on the screen, so I will insert a video of me wearing it, but the horses turned out really nice. So these are in the colourways Calcifer for this really deep orangey colour, and then Dust. Is it Dust? Yes. It's Dust for this silvery grey tone, and they complement each other really well. The kit was really nice. It was like just the perfect size to fit the jumper for me. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Hannah's yarn is really nice, and Caitlin Hunter's colourwork charts and things are nice and easy to use. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one. That's like the big one that I'm really proud of myself for doing. And it didn't take me too long actually. I think I knitted it within a month, which is really good for me. And another one I finished knitting was the Scotch Broom pattern by Woollen Wytch. So I had this one sort of pegged for a while in my Ravelry page, and then Aunt and I had a wedding to go to and I wanted to knit something specifically to wear to the wedding, and it was still fairly warm at the time, so I wanted something that was lightweight, that wasn't like a heavy jumper. So I decided on the Scotch Broom because it was just a pretty top, less of a jumper and more of a top, and I used some yarn from my stash so I didn't have to buy any more or delve into my own yarn. So this turned out really nice as well. The video for the actual texture pattern on it was really easy to follow, and it's such a quick knit as well. I think I got this done in a couple days. I really love this one. I will be knitting more because it's such a nice top to wear as well. So this is the Scotch Broom, and it's basically just one big rectangle. There's no shaping or anything, but you start by knitting the two sides of the textures, so it's exactly the same on the front and the back, and then you join them together to do the sleeves. So there's no real sleeves, so you just join them under the arm and just knit in the round all the way down the bottom. So it's such an easy pattern. I was really surprised by it because it looks a little bit more complicated, but yeah, I mean even the detail on the texture is really pretty. I don't know if you can see it. The yarn I used is Biff Sugar yarns in Amethyst and Sentinel. So Amethyst is this like lilac-y colour, and then Sentinel is the darker purple blue colour, and they really complemented each other as well. I'll pop in a video of me wearing it because it doesn't look like much because it just looks like a rectangle, but when it's on it looks really pretty. So yeah, that went down. It was sort of perfect for the wedding as well. I wore it with a really nice flowy black skirt, and it was just nice and chill, and it just looked really pretty. So those are the two big main projects that I've done, I guess, at the start of the year. I haven't done much else really. I've done a little bit of spinning on my new wheel. I spun up some John Arbon fibre for Aunt to knit him some mittens for Christmas, so he doesn't quite know about those ones yet. They're just in a really nice dark green colour. I can't remember what fibre it was now, but it was quite a rustic yarn, quite a rustic fibre, but it was really tactile at the same time, and it spun up really nicely. So I'm kind of excited to see what my hand spun yarn will end up looking like knit into something. So all the yarn I've done previously has been really big chunky stuff, which I've knitted just into scarves because it's just the easiest way to go. and they look really nice, but I'm interested to see what a sort of thinner weight handspun looks for me. Anyway, I managed to get it looking like a fairly consistent weight as well, which is pretty unheard of for me. Usually I just naturally go to thick and thin constantly, so it was quite nice to actively work to make sure it was a consistent weight so that I could actually knit like a standard pattern with it. And since I finished those ones, I have moved on to a silk, I think it's a silk merino fibre from John Arbon as well. I'm gonna have to double check it, but that one is really nice. That one's going to be a pair of socks for myself, I think. It is also spinning up very nicely. I'm spinning it in to slightly around the lace weight size, and then I'm going to ply them together. So I just finished the other day the first bobbin. I'm halfway through the second, so once those are done I can then try my brand new jumbo flyer, which I'm really excited for. I've got a bunch of other fibres I picked up at Wonderwall this year, which I was going to try doing nice chunky stuff with, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, that's pretty much all the knitting I've done, all the projects I've done recently. I've not had a lot of time, what with everything that's been going on lately. I did actually design some new stuff for the shop as well, which I'm really actually chuffed with. I do have some new stuff up, which includes new sock blockers, which I'm pretty chuffed with. This is the giant size, although I do have a bigger size. I've tried to make sure I've gone from like the smallest of sizes to the biggest, just so I can make sure I'm inclusive for most of the sizes. So this is XXL, and each sock blocker comes in a pack of 2, so you can do both socks at the same time. And they've got this really nice etched rose design on the heel. They've got my Lego halfway up, and then the size at the top, and the just laser cut on the one side, and then the back is just plain. But yeah, I'm actually really chuffed with how the sock blockers come out. I have quite a few left in stock still, so if you're interested, they're in the shop. I am planning a few more things, new things for the winter period, so hopefully by November I have some new stuff out, or the end of October. It's just whether or not I can fit everything in. Time management, I always used to be really good at it, but lately it's sort of gone and I don't know why, but I will find my rhythm again and stuff will go back to normal. Anyway, I think that's all I've got time for today. Thank you so much for listening to me waffle on, and I really hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.